Hello again. Welcome to new class 155. All right. Regular verbs. Every day I agree. Yesterday I agreed. Every day I die. Todo el mundo me muero. Todos los días, perdona, me muero. Every day I die. Yesterday I died. People die every day. It's true on this planet. Yesterday, how many people died yesterday on the planet Earth? I don't know. How many people died yesterday on the planet Mars? Nobody, I think. Nobody died on Mars yesterday. How many people died on Jupiter? Nobody died on Jupiter yesterday, I think. I suppose nobody died on Jupiter. No human being. Maybe there is organic life on Jupiter. And if there's organic life, then maybe some element of organic life died yesterday on Jupiter. But I don't know. Esa es la primera columna. La D dura al final. Belong, belonged. Call, called. Arrive, arrived. Follow, follow me, followed. Happen, happened, etc. Segunda columna. T, sonido de T. Parked, parked. Promise, promised. Hope, hoped. I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden. Along with the sunshine, there has to be a little rain sometimes. Y en eso aprender inglés también. Perdone, yo no te prometí un jardín de rosas con esto. Junto con la luz del sol, tiene que haber un poco de lluvia también. I beg your pardon. I never promised you. Promised you. I never promised you a rose garden along with the sunshine. There has to be a little rain sometimes. Okay. And it's true in life. In life and in learning English. I never promised you a rose garden, but I promised you a stimulating route, una ruta estimulante para aprender inglés. Y esta es la parte más pesada. This is the most boring part, the most tedious part. Crossed. Yes, Christopher Columbus crossed the Atlantic 4 times. No, he crossed the Atlantic 8 times. Right. He crossed east to west 4 times, and he crossed west to east 4 times as well. How many times did Hernán Cortés cross the Atlantic? He crossed 4 times, I think. He crossed to Cuba first, and he lived in the Caribbean. And then he went to Mexico, conquered Mexico. And then he stayed in Mexico for about 6 years, and then he came back to Spain. Digo came porque estoy en España. He came back to Spain. 6 years, no, I think 4 years. He came back to Spain. He spoke to King Charles I of Spain and convinced, segunda columna, convinced the king to support him. And he went back to Mexico and lived, first column, lived for about 8 years or 10 years. And then he came back to Spain, and he died in Spain. Yes. So he crossed the Atlantic, I think, 4 times. Check. Homework. Your homework is to check if the teacher is right or wrong. How many times? But Christopher Columbus crossed the Atlantic 8 times. 4 times that way and 4 times this way. That way, this way. That way, para allá, para acá, para acá. That way and this way. All right. Stopped. Every day I stop, yesterday I stopped. Hasta como se escupir, eh? Stopped. Yes. I started this class yesterday with class number 154. And when I stopped, it was still class number 154. The day before yesterday, I remember I started, tercera columna, I started with class 153. And when I stopped, it was still class 153. Stop and start and stop. Yes. You remember my trip to Israel, I spoke about it maybe 30 classes ago. And then, well, I remember I started in Madrid, and on the first day, I stopped in Zaragoza. On the second day, I stopped in Barcelona. Then the third day, I went to Genoa, but I didn't stop in Genoa. I stopped in Pisa. Yeah, that day. Stopped. All right. More on the talked. Yes, to talk. Talk is charlar, conversar, platicar, hablar. To talk. To talk. To talk can be frivolous or it can be serious. Yeah. Stop talking. And you ask, many students say, Richard, what's the difference between to speak and to talk? I said, well, if I go to the school, if I have a little boy, if I have a son who's 7 years old, and I go to the school on parents' night to visit the teachers, and the teacher says, oh, Mr. Vaughn, so you're Jimmy's father. Yes, I'm Jimmy's father. Well, you know, it's interesting. Jimmy speaks a lot in class. Oh, very good. But if the teacher says, Jimmy talks a lot in class, that means Jimmy is not paying attention. He's talking with his neighbors, perhaps, his classmates. So to speak is usually for a serious or a reason, for a neutral or a serious reason. To talk covers the entire spectrum. To talk. Tengo que hablar contigo, eh? Hoy ven a mi despacho. I have to talk to you. Let's do a man-to-man talk. I want to talk to you about something that's important to me. So in this case, speak and talk are interchangeable. And of course, with languages, I speak English, you speak Spanish, Marta speaks Sevillana Spanish, etc. Speak. We don't say to talk. You talk. We don't talk. I don't talk English. I speak English. When I talk to you, I speak English. And sometimes when I talk to you, I speak Spanish. All right. So, talked. They talked about. We talked. What did you talk about? I saw you and Nancy Johnson together yesterday. Did you talk about her husband? No, we didn't talk about her husband. Did you talk about her son, Michael? Yes. Yesterday, you saw Nancy and I. Perdona. You saw Nancy and me talking to each other. Yeah. What do you want to know? Did you talk about Michael? Well, yeah, we talked about him a little bit. What else did you talk about? With Nancy yesterday, we talked about George Clooney. You talked about George Clooney. Yeah, we talked about we talked about Michael. We talked about her daughter. We talked about. Hablamos sobre, o hablamos de, su hija, Denise. We talked about. Ahora enlacemos. We talked about. Entonces, el sonido de T, que no existe la T, es una D, talked. Ese sonido de T se enlaza a la palabra siguiente. Si dicha palabra, por supuesto, empieza por vocal. Talked about. Entonces, no es tan difícil. Si puedes dominar la fonética aquí. Talked about. We talked about. We talked about Michael. We talked about Denise. We talked about her job in the technical college. We talked about her husband's job in the bank. We talked about interior decoration a little bit. But we talked about George Clooney. Why? Why did you talk about George? Why did we talked about George Clooney because she is going to decorate George Clooney's house in Aspen, Colorado. Nancy Johnson? Really? Yeah. That's what we talked about. Es eso sobre lo que hablamos. That's a window, that's a door, that's a door, that's a table, that's what. What? La palabra what es qué. ¿Qué quieres? What do you want? What? O es cuál. ¿Cuál es la capital de Texas? What's the capital of Texas? Austin. What? Pero what también es lo que. Sé lo que quiero. I know what I want. Dame lo que te di ayer. Give me what I gave you yesterday. Enséñame lo que te di ayer. Show me what I gave you yesterday. Sé lo que quiero. I know what I want. What? Yes. Entonces, es eso sobre lo que hablamos ayer. That's what we talked about yesterday. George Clooney and decorating his new house. George Clooney bought 1 month ago. George Clooney, the actor, bought a house in Aspen, Colorado. Aspen is probably the most famous ski resort de ski in nieve. It's the most famous or most popular ski resort in the United States. It's in the Rocky Mountains in the state of Colorado. And last month, George Clooney bought an old house, classical house in Aspen. And it needs decoration. And maybe Nancy Johnson Futuro will decorate the house for George Clooney. All right. And that's what we talked about yesterday. We talked. How long did you talk? We talked for over an hour. Wow, over an hour. You talked with her? Yeah, we talked about a lot of different things. Okay. Talked. Walked. Yes. And after I talked to her, I walked back to the hotel. How long did it take you to walk back to the hotel? Well, I walked there quickly, briskly. I walked there, so it didn't take me long to walk back. Walked. Ayer vine aquí andando. Así se dice en español, de España. En México creo que dicen caminé. Ahora bien, aquí en inglés se dice anduve. O como dicen algunos, andé. Anduve. Anduve aquí ayer. Así, I walked here yesterday. I didn't drive here yesterday. I walked here. I walked here. Walked here. Walked here. Walked here. Tear. Como lágrima, tear. I walked here. Así. I walked here. Me como la H here. I walked here. I walked here yesterday. I didn't drive here. The day before yesterday, I drove here. I drove here the day before yesterday. But yesterday I walked here. Así lo decimos en inglés. Suena muy curioso en español. No, ayer anduve aquí. Antes de ayer conduje aquí. Claro, en español. Antes de ayer vine en coche, ayer vine andando. Okay. I came walking. No decimos eso en inglés. I walked. Anduve aquí ayer. Conduje aquí el día antes de ayer. O antes de ayer. So, I walked here. I drove here. I flew here. Sí, volé aquí. O sea, vine en avión. I flew here. Yeah. I swam here. How did you come to work? I swam to work yesterday. You swam to work? Yes, there was a big flood. Había una riada y inundación, todo inundado, entonces yo vine a nado aquí. For you, eh? I swam here. I didn't walk here, I didn't drive here, and I didn't fly here. I swam here. I crawled here. Me vine aquí arrastrándome por el suelo a gatas. I crawled here, como el crawl de natación. Crawl. All right. I washed this shirt myself this morning. Before coming here, I opened the closet armario. I don't have any shirts. All of my shirts are dirty. My God. So I went and I found a dirty shirt, this one. I put it on and I took a shower. Yes, or my British friends, I had a shower. Okay, I took a shower. So I washed this shirt this morning in the shower. Can you believe it? Do you believe me? Okay, but that's how I washed. Washed. Claro, watched, que es el siguiente. Watched is observar movimiento. Watch. You see? To watch is fijar la vista en la acción en marcha. That's to watch. ¿Recuerdas el niño? You remember the little boy and his mother in the park. She's knitting, and he goes up to the top of the slide, sube a la tobogán, and Mama, Mommy, look. And she looks, and the moment he sees his watch, and he goes down the slide. So, watched. Yes, washed. So, to watch is ver, en este caso, and to wash is lavar. So if you say, I'm washing the TV, no, estás lavando el televisor, no, estás viendo la tele. I'm washing TV. My God, it's a dirty television, okay. But I washed this shirt this morning in the shower because I didn't have time to wash it in the washing machine. Normally I wash my shirts in the washing machine, but I forgot. I'm a bit lazy at home. And so this morning, I panicked. Segunda columna. Me entró un pánico. Se dice panicar en inglés, como si fuera un verbo único. Me entró un pánico. I panicked. I don't have any shirts. My God, I need a shirt. So I went to the dirty clothes, and I found this shirt. I put it on. This is 2 hours ago. I put it on, and I said, okay, I needed to take a shower before coming here. And so I took a shower, and I simultaneously, at the same time, I washed this shirt. And then I hung it on a hanger, and with a hairdryer, I dried it. Primera columna. I dried it. Como el verbo to die, morir, pero con R intercalada, dried. Yes. When he died, we dried him. Okay. I dried it with a hair dryer. And so today I have a shirt. I have a clean shirt. All right. Washed, watched, wished, and worked. Ya hemos terminado. The second column, worked. I wished. To wish. Os cuesta a los hispanohablantes decir wish. Porque decís wish con S. Es la SH de siempre. She, I wish. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Desear. Te deseamos un feliz Navidad. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish. Es que es muy fuerte la SH en inglés. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Okay. Wish. Make a wish. En español decís pide un deseo. Make a wish. This is a magic wand. Una varita mágica. Here. Make a wish. You say abracadabra. Tienes que decir. You have to say. Abracadabra, please and thank you. Si no dices así, no sale. Por favor y gracias. Don't forget to say please and thank you. You say abracadabra, please and thank you. Alakazam. Now, you make a wish, but first make a wish. If you don't make a wish, your wish will not come true. Okay, curiosa expresión, come true. True is verdad o verdadero. You say hacerse realidad. We say venir verdad o verdadero, to come true. So you need to make a wish. Abracadabra, please and thank you, alakazam. And so there's only one wish that I prohibit. You can't make, what wish is that, Richard? May the English language disappear. Yes, because I'm sure if I give my students a magic wand, Many of them will say, English language, disappear. And so the most important language would be Spanish and Chinese, not Spanish, English, and Chinese. All right. So to wish. I wished. Pero se usa menos en el pasado. Este verbo, this verb, interestingly, is not used very often, wished. We use wish 90% of the time in the same way as you use ojalá in Spanish. Ojalá fuera verdad. I wish. Y con una entonación de exasperación o fastidio. I wish I knew English perfectly. Ojalá supiera inglés a la perfección. I wish I knew. Claro, wish se usa cuando no es posible, que ya es demasiado tarde o no es alcanzable. Ojalá tuviera 3 brazos para llevar bandejas y abrir puertas. I wish I had 3 arms. I wish. En ese I wish. So wished, to tell you the truth, a decir verdad, pensándolo bien, to tell you the truth, I don't think we use, fíjate que en inglés digo, no creo que usemos. En español diríais, creo que no usamos. Pero nosotros say, I don't think we use the verb to wish in the simple past very often. You can say, yes, te deseo un feliz Navidad ayer. Did he wish? Yeah, he wished me, en ese caso. Pero es un poco con calzador eso. Yes, he was forcing it with a shoehorn. He wished me a Merry Christmas yesterday. Did he wish you a Happy New Year? Yes, he wished me a Happy New Year too. And finally worked. When I was 14 years old, I worked as a paperboy, delivering newspapers. When I was 16, I worked in a supermarket, sacking groceries, poniendo comestibles o productos de supermercado en una bolsa de papel, sacking. When I was 16. When I was 17, I worked in a pizzeria, making pizzas, washing dishes, and I only burned one pizza. Only once. I worked at the pizzeria for about 9 months, and I only burned one pizza. Yeah. There were 2 ovens. One oven is horno, and a lower oven. And the top oven was full, and I put one pizza in the lower oven, and I forgot. And we opened the oven, and whew, the smoke came out. All right. So I worked in a pizzeria. When I was 18, I worked in a warehouse. Warehouse is un almacén. I worked in a warehouse. And then I studied at the university and I didn't work. I worked hard in the university. I'm working hard now. Se suele usar el adjetivo hard, o el adverbio en este caso, hard, donde en español se dice trabajar mucho. Trabajar duro suena un poco duro en español. Sin embargo, en inglés, work hard es la forma de he trabajado mucho o trabajé mucho. When I was 25 years old, I worked very hard. When I was 30 years old, I worked very hard. When I was 35, I worked very hard. Last year, I worked very hard. I always work very hard. I always do the best I can. Last year, I did the best I could. 20 years ago, I did the best I could. If you always do the best you can, in the long run, it's impossible to fail. In the long run. In the short term, you never know, ups and downs. It's like a stock market index, el índice bursátil al alza. A rising stock market index, there's ups and downs. But if you're an intelligent investor, you get better and better. But you suffer ups and downs. It can affect your heart. So, but if you work hard, there's no problem. Por último, before we finish, tercera columna. La tercera columna de verbos regulares es donde se añade una sílaba más. Por ejemplo, avoid es evitar, to avoid. To avoid. Pasado, avoided. Decide, decidir. Decided. Land. El avión aterriza todos los días. The plane lands every day. And yesterday it landed. Where did it land? It landed in Barajas Airport. No, it didn't. It landed in Torrejon Airport. No, it didn't. It landed in Cuatro Vientos Airport. No, it didn't. It landed in the Getafe Airport. It's a military plane. Oh, I thought it landed in Barajas. He thought the plane landed in Torrejon. She thought the plane landed in Cuatro Vientos. But then you clarified, first column, that the plane landed in Getafe, in the military, in the Air Force base in Getafe. Landed, decided, and ended this class. Take care.